Hi, I'm Matthew Levy, and I went to the first public lecture, which was at Dr. James Kakalios, who spoke of the physics of superheroes. This topic was particularly interesting to me because I love superheroes and comic books in general. And last year, in English class based on comic books, I wrote a paper on the realisticness of some superheroes and even incorporated physics into my paper, which made this presentation really interesting for me. Dr. Kakalios gave a very funny and informative lecture in which he pointed out realistic phenomena in both comic books and movie-based comic books. The main points that Dr. Kakalios talked about that I didn't already know were his facts about metal. For example, Captain America's shield that is perfectly absorbent, but is also rigid and can bounce off materials and reflect back to him. This is possible because it is made both of a normal rigid metal and a made-up metal in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is vibranium, which is perfectly absorbent. Also, he spoke of Wonder Woman's bands that go around her wrists that can deflect bullets, and he did all the math and physics behind it to see the momentum change and determine that it was in fact possible for her gauntlets to ricochet bullets. Also, based on my prior research for the English class, I knew it was possible for lightweight objects such as a gecko to climb walls based on the millions of microfibers in its skin on its fingertips. What I did not know before was that this was actually caused because of charges in the fibers that polarized the wall and created many little van der Waals interactions, and all that added up actually caused for it to cling to the wall, which is really cool. However, what I did not understand entirely was even if, assuming Spider-Man had enough of these charges to be able to hold up his entire weight, which probably isn't accurate, but assuming it is, wouldn't his suit interfere with the charges and the filaments in the fibers in his skin? Also, Dr. Kakalios spent a lot of time talking about graphene and the incredible strength that he provides. He gave an example of Superior Iron Man, who doesn't wear any face armors, yet you can actually see Tony Stark's face. And it turns out that he does have armor on. It's only a single layer of graphene, which turns out to be strong enough to deflect a bullet, and it would also be transparent because it's barely the size of an atom thick. The coolest thing that I learned in this lecture was also about graphene. If you placed one layer of graphene at each edge of a piece of paper, it would keep the paper flat even if you had two people standing on the edges, which is just awesome. Dr. Kakalios stressed that graphene is going to be an integral part of our future if we can figure out how to combine multiple layers and synthesize it. The only thing that I wish Dr. Kakalios would have talked about more that he didn't was the Flash. He briefly talked about the phenomenon of getting heavier as you approach the speed of light in a comic book where the Flash realized that phenomena. But I wish that he got into more of Einstein's theory of relativity because it's just fascinating. So one of the questions I had was if the Flash is constantly moving around so fast, not at the speed of light, but I think close enough, would he live longer than everybody knew? And how much energy is he constantly using when he's running that fast? Like how can he provide all that energy and food? How much calories you have to intake per day? And I wish he did the math and showed us just exactly how much. That would have been really cool.